Welcome and hello and welcome and hello and welcome and hello. Thank you for joining me on this very special edition. It's so special. It's Un Poco Mas. SoFi's earnings were outstanding, and once again, the sandbag guidance was weak. Noto's talking about some tax obligations that those of us who are fat and uninformed and lazy, procrastinators, the snackers out there, those of us that snack late, they say don't snack late. And, I like to snack late. So it's developed me a little bit of a weight problem over the years, certain complications that come with being a late snacker. But anyway, guys, welcome and hello and welcome. People always say, "Oh, you don't come on a down day. All my stocks are down." Even my number one pick, Microsoft, is down, but my number two, SoFi, is down. Haven't even looked at Tesla, Nvidia, Supermicro is being slaughtered. The funny thing is, Nvidia is like $120 stock, and they make $2-3 a share, and Supermicro is $28 stock, and they make $2 a share, and they're actually growing EPS faster than Nvidia. And everybody's, this DeepSeek, this Chinese company, it's been well known since 2023 that they're working on these models. And I just think the fact, like, people think, oh, they can't get any advanced chips in China. I think that's just complete fallacy. And you can run more chips that aren't running as many, teraflops. But anyway, talking about SoFi, this price action is just, I don't know. It's like a butt plug. It's just like, it's painful, consolidated before. This is the last area, 1570, I would say, just kind of averaging it out, eyeballing it. Free balling it, whatever you're into. But this area was some consolidation. Obviously, this thing kind of flagged down, and then there was this huge breakout. I think people don't really appreciate how absurd this price action is. Like, on January 13th, the stock bottoms out down here at 1350. And then by the 24th, the stock's topping out, close to 1850. So you're talking about a $5 move. I don't know what that is, like 35% move in a few days. And this is trading like some crazy penny stock that's, selling flubber and cures for restless leg syndrome. And it's just complete insanity when what you actually have here is this stable, growing juggernaut with incredible management, incredible business model, incredible growth. This is one of the fastest growing stocks in the public markets over the last 5 years. When Noto came into this company, I think the revenues were 300 million or something. Now next year is going to go to 3 billion. The multiple, this stock was not even overvalued at 18. I was telling you guys, I told you guys last video, don't rush in and buy this at 18, because I know what happens to SoFi on earnings. It always crashes after earnings. Now, frequently it'll go up after that, and that's what I believe. I think we're fine here. I don't think there's any problem until you get down here at 14. If you break through that, you're probably going to get down, to the low 12s. I don't think any of that's going to happen. This multiple is already too low. These kumquats, these pustules that are talking CAGR 15 to 17 for the next 5 years, that number is pulled right out of their, ample posterior. There is no 15% growth on this. Company is going to grow 20% plus, and I would argue 25%. I mean, this margin-rich lending, referral, layoff, loan shark business they've got going on. They originated 1.1 billion in loans for their partners, more than the previous 3 months. Well, just started. Don't sandbag numbers. And why is my father, my biological father, my proud papa, and of course I'm about my father's business, why are we projecting such low EPS this year? What is this tax obligation? I need somebody, some intellectual, like a strong man, a CPA, to explain this tax thing. The pecking order. It's like rocket scientist, CPA, brain surgeon. That's the level of intellect you have to just understand financial statements. aim a camera directly up your nose with a huge booger while you're driving around the block. I love strongman. Because with him, finance is so personal. Now, he's actually a smart guy. He's right. You guys should buy an index fund because you're just a trade like hamsters on meth. You used to trade like hamsters on crack. Now you trade like hamsters on meth. But the ER bottom line was really good. I mean, it was just really good. Again, they just hit the top and bottom. I mean, 5 cents, nothing to get excited about. The market just does not get excited about EPS of 28 cents. Now, management reiterated the 55 to 80 cents the following year. So if you extrapolate that, they're saying at a very minimum, just based on their stupid sandbag, slow pitch, bullshit. Reminds me of that movie. Now I want you to, I think, what movie was it? It was a Clint Eastwood movie where he's shooting and then they got him trapped in this, it was that one where he like deserts the South. I always forget the name of this movie, but he's riding around. He's like with the Jayhawkers, like killing people. And there's some colonel hunting him down. He's like, I want you to move now, slower than molasses in winter. And there's this, and of course, he's about to kill these like 3 trappers who are trying to get this bounty from him. Like, dude, you mongoloids are dead. Like, this is Clint Eastwood. You know who this guy is? Like, he's sitting here chewing on a small stub of a cigar, drinking a whiskey while you're threatening to kill. He doesn't look concerned. At least you didn't insult his mule, you puke. You're in a bunch of heavy furs inside trying to have a gunfight with the greatest gunfighter in the history of the world. Dirty Harry. You feel lucky? No, I don't think you do. Yeah. Anyway, guys, we got Terry Hurst. Noto said interview because you want to use 2025. Terry, music to my ears. Where has Terry been all my life? Music to my ears. What is my headline? Take market share. Forget EPS. Dominate. Grow. This is a period in time where, think about Tina Turner in the Terror Dome or whatever the hell thing, the Thunderdome. You have to kill the other people before they kill you. Start killing people, Noto. Proverbially. Murder your opponents. You're better than them. You're stronger than them. Stop being cordial. Stop being polite. Stop handing out windbreakers. If you want to serve on boards, serve on boards. You make me a charcuterie board if you invited me over for the fucking holidays. But you don't want to admit you have a fat son who's like 2 years younger than you. And I understand that. It's awkward. It's very, very awkward. But anyway, guys, I'm not at all worried about this price action. This is where it was before. It went nuts. This is a pump and dump. This was pre-planned. I mean, it's no different than KBW crashing the stock every New Year's. First, you had the pit bull, the balding pit bull, Michael Perito, the wannabe mafioso who moonlights as a spokesperson for the Olive Garden. Would you like some more breadsticks? I have a stock pick for you. Then he snuck off like a thief in the night, left your sister pregnant in the double wide, never hear from him again. And then he goes off somewhere else, probably doing private equity. Maybe got his, if he ever had, which I'm sure he didn't, if he ever had a Peruvian wham problem, got it under control. Everything's good over there. They brought in little Timmy Switzer. Of course, he used to be, before he was kicked out for, lack of production on lyrics and other things, he was the backup lead singer for My Chemical Romance, little Timmy Switzer. But they crash the stock every New Year's. The stock tends to crash after earnings. I'm just not worried about this. I know you're like, is this a chip stock? Why is SoFi down 11%? But then why was it just up 35% for no reason? Like, the price action is the price action. A lot of volume today, a lot of action. The algo's back on it. 92 million shares traded today. And they put this thing right where they want it, and then it's just algo held. This isn't wild volatility. This is fake volatility. It's fake volatility. That's what they do with these stocks. I don't care if it's Supermicro, SoFi, Neo, any of these stocks they're trading, shorting. They haven't let go of SoFi. And by the way, I think Noto, I don't think he was upset when the price was holding low. I don't think he's upset when this thing goes down. I mean, 5 cents last, so they're implying, okay, at best, we're going to do, 6 to 7 cents a quarter EPS on average, and we did 5. It's just not good enough. The market can't stand it, but fine. Let the price go down. I'm here for a long time, not a good time. What's going on, Kramer90? The great Noto Lurkers joined us with his wrench. Who's Paul? Paul Gardner. Everything's confusing. This show is intentionally confusing. That we want to disorient you. And while you're watching this, I have, my associates come steal your house plants and different things off your yard. If you got one of those, plywood cutouts of the big, lady in the flower dress with her big butt, like bent over, may get one of those cows, may get some pink flamingos. This whole show is designed as a ruse. You know how like they rob the professional athletes when they're at games and the singers when they're on tour? I'm just doing that at just a real low level. No, guys, I'm actually not. This is not grand larceny. This is just a boring YouTuber droning on about the Sofi ER. But I thought it was outstanding. I mean, 785,000 member ads, 26 billion on deposit at this point. So that's just moving up very steady. Not seeing the growth because people weren't saving. I mean, people were going the other direction. But Sofi customers were still saving. That's very encouraging. Personal loan charge-offs actually went down by, I think, 15 basis points. So very, very encouraging. So, personal loan charge-offs still look like they peaked like last March or whatever it was. So that's one of the main last sort of holdout pieces of FUD that people throw at this business is, hey, the loan book is so weak. It's like, but that defies all logic, all evidence. The fact that there's huge demand for their loans. In fact, they have the most qualified borrowers in the industry in terms of personal loans, high credit scores, high incomes. This business model hasn't had a chance to work, guys. I was telling you long time ago, before we even heard about this loan platform, I said, people just don't understand this business yet. It's not a lender. It's not a bank. It's a technology company. The bank is just a component. They're selling their membership. They're selling access. That's why they're so selective. That's why they're not trying to sign up a bunch of, dregs and, horrible low credit people. Yeah, you could pump it. You could pump it new style, new bank. That's just going to just cast a very wide net. Sell products to paupers. We could be in a firm and just whatever it is, loan people, 5 installments to purchase their groceries at Walmart. But do you really want a customer who's financing milk? No. You want Anthony Noto. You want great, healthy hair. You want somebody who conditions, who uses hot oil. You want somebody who comes to a golf course in a windbreaker, takes an awkward canned interview for 3 minutes, where he looks like a deer in the headlights talking about EBITDA, crashes the stock, his friends buy it up. Yeah. Guidance was weak. Yeah. Accident. Accident. To quote the great Adam Sandler. Paul, he never takes the gloves off. Anthony Noto should just deliver a backhand slap to the market. Just go, is growth is worth nothing? Everything we're doing, if you can't see what they're setting up here by now, you deserve to miss it. Go buy Palantir at 75. Buy that dip. I mean, it's just look at the growth. Look at where their margins are. And margins might be weak in 2020. People are like, well, how are they growing revenue? Because they're spending money to grow the business, aggressively acquire customers on the tech side, on the retail side. It costs money to sell people mortgages. Nobody knows Sofi does mortgages. They have to build these businesses. The problem right now is people want the wrong thing. If you want to be a top 10 financial institution, you can't covet earnings per share right now. Oh, is it a nickel? Is it 6 cents? Is it 10 cents? My 6 cents says your 6 cents ain't worth 6 cents, you freaking turd. Stop it. Stop pressuring a man with great hair, a guy who can unbutton a button, come lay down data for you. Maybe you're a attractive middle-aged woman in a pantsuit, a financial reporter who likes to go to Aspen or Pebble Beach and ask questions of Noto. Anthony, guidance is a little weak, but I love your hair. Thoughts? I wish you had any thoughts. Jesus, these interviews are terrible. By the way, back to adjusted EBITDA. Guys, obviously I don't know anything. But this is silly. The price action is silly. The fact that it was, why did I think this? And I wish I would have made this video yesterday, because if you watched my last video, I was like, don't rush. I was like, I would buy NEO ahead of this, and I was saying I would buy SMCI ahead of this. That also crashed with Nvidia. That crash is totally overdone. You don't think Elon Musk knows what's going on with AI in China? Then why is he investing billions of dollars in these Nvidia chips if they're just superfluous and unnecessary? Ugh. People are like, oh, nobody has any idea what's going on in China. This is just sneaking up on everybody. That's not what this is. The market makers, they all planned this. It's a shock and awe. They're reshuffling the deck chairs. Market makers are recasting their positions, and basically they're shaking out rate herders. You crapped your pants. You don't bring a change of underwear to work. You have nowhere to go. You're trapped in a stall. Your phone won't get internet. You can't trade stocks. You're desperately trying to chase your losses because you're an addict. You suck. You don't listen. You have no discipline. By the way, I would buy Google. I bought Google today. I love Google. Google's undervalued for a FANG stock. I mean, I know Netflix is crushing it, but I don't know. It just seems a little high. Microsoft's a little bit rich on this, 500 billion. This, and Elon Musk is right in that respect. I mean, I don't like the whatever you want to, whatever you think of the Nazi salute. There is no 500 billion at SoftBank. Okay, Microsoft was already spending the money. So this isn't like the government's coming out and spending a new 500 billion. It's a fugazi, guys. It's a fugazi. Don't look over here. Like, look at this hand while I'm punching you 7 or 8 times in the testicles with an uppercut. You still looking here? It's like, no. If you've ever taken 7 uppercuts to the testicles in a row, you'll, have a good feeling what this ER feels like. Now, the ER is great. It's just price action, guys. And you could see it was totally pre-done. I mean, it's right where it opened. I mean, where'd this turd open? 1591. Where are we right now? 1589, 88. So this is all pre-dialed. It's like, why does the stock drop 15 to 20% every New Year's Eve? Because KBW's bosses get hung over and they're pissed off? I mean, does anybody believe that 2-bit rinky-dink shithouse analyst agent, do you think they have the capability to just crash stocks, or do you think market makers are, possibly coordinating their actions to steal money from stupid, weak people such as ourselves? Fat people. People with short attention spans. People who need money to pay their bills. People who they know can't wash stocks. People who they know, set stupid stop losses. And this payment for order flow stuff is just completely ruining the market for us. I mean, before, when you had to pay to trade, you couldn't trade all the time like a hamster on meth. You had to actually think about what you were doing, because you had to send old Chucky Schwab, $29 to make the trade, or $9.95 or whatever it was. Depending where you were, you pay $10 or $20 every time you bought and sold a stock. They charge you a fee. Because there was some guy who had to put down his Coke straw, and he was actually sitting on the floor. That's back in the movies. Buy, sell, buy, sell. I mean, it may not have been that dramatic, but you know what I mean? There was people involved. And you just trade like 50 times a day. And I'm not a day trader. I'm a long-term guy. Why'd you buy and sell the same stock like 17 times a day? Oh, playing the swings, playing the hunches. People are so dumb, and like, it's not that people are dishonest, but they're just delusional. Like, and I've been there, I need that third cheeseburger. I need that 18th cup of coffee. The 17 cups just weren't quite enough. Like Peggy Hill said, in my opinion, coffee is a great way to wake up in the morning. It's not your opinion. Spaghetti and meatballs. I add nutmeg. Ming adds nutmeg to everything. That's her secret. Makes the apple brown Peggy. Spaghetti and meatballs. Anyway, guys, love me some King of the Hill. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say don't worry about, your stocks crashing 11, 15%. But guys, I mean, this stuff was overvalued. I'm not saying SoFi was necessarily overvalued, but you have to remember it just tripled pretty much. I mean, came off of 7, came off of 6, all the way up to 18. It always has a hard time around earnings. I keep telling people, I was frankly surprised to see somebody who I know is very smart recommending people buy, $20 calls around the ER. I was like, have you followed what this thing tends to do? But of course, nobody was predicting this Nvidia sell-off besides everyone who knew it was happening. I didn't, but I'm not a big Nvidia shareholder. I have, hold it through some like ETFs and different stuff, but I missed, just being honest, I missed the Nvidia run, just like I missed the Palantir run. I had been in the stock, but then I took profits too early and I just didn't have, I missed a lot of I still had a small position, same as Palantir, but I just missed the meat of the rally. I want to get the meat of the bat on the ball. Anyway, guys, how's everybody doing? I didn't really have anything for SoFi. I mean, I was watching the other guys. Everything's been done to death. You guys can look at the numbers. I'm not a numbers guy. I'm not an X's and O's guy. I'm a big picture guy. Or AKA big fat loudmouth who doesn't do any work. No, I really do, guys. I've done a ton of work on SoFi looking at the histories of their management, their people. I go a little bit deeper into like the backbench at Galileo and some of these people and where they're from and what they've done. And I still don't think people get what this, but yes, the lending growth, financial services growth, it's incredible. Yet they showed a little bit of growth on the tech side, but that again was a bit weak. I mean, I think it was 6% year on year or something. I mean, these other sectors, the financial growing like 87% and like home loan originations, 80%. So I don't know, guys. I know Galileo was the right decision, but it's just the patience it requires is just not there in today's market. I mean, everybody wants money yesterday. Everybody wants Nvidia type growth. And then you see how fickle that is when some other company comes along and they're just basically getting a bunch of downloads for their, they're basically saying, hey, they can train these large language models that are just as effective as like what Facebook and Google and, these other people are spending a fortune on with these Nvidia. They can use, less expensive chips, a lot less electricity, a lot less time, a lot less money. And they can provide results that are as good or better than what the Americans. So this sort of illusion of American superiority on the AI front is kind of disappearing as people realize. But I think it's premature. And I think you guys know a thing or two about premature. But I think it's premature to declare Nvidia dead and all these other companies, because their revenues are there. There's a pipeline. It takes a long time for a revolution. It's not like Nvidia just started making these GPUs, last year, and Supermicro just started, working on liquid cooling. You kind of come to a place where you're like right place, right time. And is the chip restriction, holding back these Chinese companies? Like, aren't they really doing the same thing, just a different way? And I'm starting to read articles today. I've heard of these companies, but this one in particular, everybody's talking about. What's the name of it? I forget. But yeah, I was just comparing, like, it's just funny, like, how some of these, the growth is so biased, depending, who you're talking about. It's like, the SoFi's, it's just misstated, understated, and intentionally misunderstood. So DeepSeek ravages Nvidia, this AI stock. So it's DeepSeek is this company. Okay, this is interesting. Nvidia says DeepSeek advances prove need for more of its chips. So that's an interesting spin by Jensen. I'm curious about this one. Like I said, I'm going to try to get into SMCI later, but I have a lot of other work to do. So I don't know exactly when I'll have time, but I will. Prove for need for more of its chips. Show usefulness of the chips Chinese market. DeepSeek's work illustrates how new models can be created using that technique, leveraging widely available. So this is like kind of crowdsourced, where they open source this and they let developers work on it. So it's a different model than like the closed loop that American tech companies employ with their models. Nvidia shares had dropped 17%, which had matched rivals OpenAI, using far fewer Nvidia chips in U.S. firm. But DeepSeek was also struggling on Monday. Inference requires significant numbers of NVIDIA GPUs and high-performance networking. And say they haven't needed that many chips, I think NVIDIA is saying, because they haven't had that many people using their service. And the more and more they scale, the more and more of our chips they're going to need. So I think that's kind of the point they're making there. But again, in terms of SoFi, I think this is dialed in. It's holding right where it opened. The algo is absolutely locked on. I think this is market makers sort of, like I said, reshuffling the deck chairs. They definitely didn't want to buy 18, 19. I think they wanted to buy 12, 13, but right now they're settling to accumulate anywhere below 16, because I think they know, this stock is fairly or undervalued here, and they're in such a perfect position, such a perfect sector that is very rich. There's tons of profits to be had. Virtually everyone is a consumer in this sector. Everyone consumes financial services, banking, lending. It's not something, oh, I don't like asparagus, so I'm not going to, use a credit. It's just not that kind of thing. It's not a fad. It's not a taste. These products, services, sector will be here forever. Like, well, the one guy, I forget that asshat's name, who Tanner interviewed a few times. No, he's a really smart guy, but anyway, so he's saying like, well, this sector is shrinking at 2%. And it's like ignoring the fact that SoFi is just taking market share constantly, more and more every year. So everyone who's still bearish SoFi, they have to put out sort of this illogical word salad, gibberish soup. Like if you're the five head, you're talking about fair value accounting, like it's Bigfoot or something. Like, I just don't get it. Like, what if these, what if these loans crash? And, it's like, but the opposite's happening. Their loans are becoming more valuable relative to the others in the marketplace, and their defaults are going down. So it's the opposite of what you're saying. So these massive origination increases you're seeing in the actual earnings report, not your, five-headed conjecture, not your bologna sandwich of bullshit, but the actual numbers are showing the opposite. So these massive loan originations, fair value accounting, how you're able to increase their value on day one based on reality, is going to spike the numbers. That's why I think Noto is just sandbagging us. Who am I? Sally Field? My house is flooding. And give me an Oscar. Was a river. The river was that Rising River. That guy from what was that movie? The Right Stuff. What's that guy's name? He's been in so many freaking movies. It's always like some like strong, silent husband to like, some like Sally Field, Reba McEntire type. What's that other lady's name? It's kind of redhead. She's a super good actress. Can't remember her name. Could always have her in like a bonnet. I don't know, guys. I don't know what I'm talking about. I barely got any sleep last night. Shocker. I'm so sick of not doing the SoFi Rock Opera. I may do the SoFi Rock Opera because it's going to be such a turd. Huge turd. But anyway, oh, yeah, but you can't spend your life covering your ass, Paul Gardner. Sometimes you got to show your ass like a stank hoe. So Noto, let out your inner stank hoe. Show your ass. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the stock's going to be 45 in 2026. Charted travel. I mean, come on, that's a triple from here. I mean, I think SoFi at $20 is very fairly priced right now because I believe in the model, I believe in the management, but you have to show me those high revenue sectors growing. You have to show me like net interest margin, was increasing. So SoFi can be a very successful company without any type of like crazy high-tech innovations. They can be very solid, but that's not what we're looking for. We're not looking to hit singles and doubles here. We're looking for grand slam home runs. I think that's why we hitch our wagon to my biological father, Anthony Noto. So anyway, guys, I don't know what else I plan to talk about. There's a bunch of articles, of course, millions of them. This is one I happen to read because I think Barron's does pretty good. Emily Datillo, I've read her articles before. She's pretty smart, but it's just basic stuff. So the shares were down 11%. First quarter, SoFi forecasts adjusted net revenue of $725 and $745 in earnings, 3 cents per share. Wall Street had penciled in $6.88 and 5 cents. So the fact that you're, beating the top line of their expectations so much, but are so far below the bottom line, is problematic because, that's showing that your margins would be, eroding significantly between Q4 and Q1. So you just have to figure out why is that happening. It could be some structural reason that's not a problem, or it could be that Anthony Noto is just fucking with us, and that's my theory. He's like, hey, push this thing down. My Aunt Flo needs more shares. She's coming to town soon, so I'm gonna push the price down. When Aunt Flo gets here, she can buy a few shares, and I'll pump the stock. It's like, oh, by the way, I made a mistake here. Carry the 2. We're actually gonna make 38 cents. For fiscal 2025, the company expects adjusted net revenue between 3.2 billion and 3.275 billion. EPS 25 to 27. Yes, nobody's going to get that excited about what you're bringing to the bottom line. 25 to 27 cents, 2 bits. What am I trying to make a phone call in like 1982? You play a game of Centipede. WTF? I mean, come on. Analysts had forecast revenue of 3.02 billion and earnings of 28 cents. So, yeah, again, it's kind of topsy-turvy. Up is down, black is white, day is night, blah, blah, blah. The financial outlook of the first quarter of the year a bit short of forecast, but Noto told Barron's the company's 2025 tax obligations aren't reflected in consensus. So analysts don't understand their tax obligations? I mean, I don't really get that. What does that mean? You guys, again, I need strongman. Somebody get me strongman. On a call to discuss the results, or at least a CPA or a rocket scientist or somebody of that intellectual capacity, maybe Stock Mo. Man taught at the high school level. He did not teach high school. He taught at that level. Don't get it twisted, you basic bitches who can't afford plain, unbranded black baseball caps like Stock Mo. You're feeding your cat that good organic cat food. I actually like Stock Mo. People are like, don't you make fun of Jeremy? You made fun of Jeremy, but he's really smart. I know he's smart. I didn't make fun of him because that tattooed chef call was so stupid. But I think he was just having like diarrhea at the mouth. The guy talks super fast. Like, you think he does massive, massive lines of Peruvian wham wham, but he doesn't. It's just his brain is like super quick, out ahead of his mouth at times. So he had to fake quit YouTube and such. Further, yeah, Vincent Vandenberg, that's exactly what he should be doing. But just don't blow smoke up our ass. Just tell us what you're doing. Hey, we need to grow, dominate. There's going to be consolidation. There's going to be competition. We cannot afford to sit here and try to make pennies in 2025 and 2026 when our really real goal is to be massive in 2035. Massive Attack. You guys know Massive Attack. I know you're big Punk fans. I had you pegged for a player, Maurice. Those guys, those cheap Armani suits. No, those guys are connected. Outfit guys, KGB. Yeah, go in there and just lose their money back. No problem. Okay, so they're still going 2026. Management said 55 to 80 cents. I actually haven't had a chance to listen to the earnings call. I read some of the highlights, but just had a bunch of other stuff going on. So they posted net earnings 29 cents, adjusted 5 cents. They expected Wall Street had expected 4 cents. 739 was way above 675 consensus. Deposits grew 26 billion, I think, which was right around what people were expecting. Not grew, but grew to, I don't know exactly where they were before, but 785. I know I was watching the Canadian FinTurd Mafia, and I think they were all right in there, 780, 7. So they'd already put out everything up besides the last couple of weeks. So they now have more than 10 million customers. And remember, it's the quality of those customers, which is critical. SoFi began, so in the fourth quarter, our financial services and tech platform made up a record 49% of SoFi's adjusted net revenue. It's up from 40% a year ago. So that's really, really good news. Continue to diversify, continue to de-risk. Origination volume lending segment rose 66%, which a lot of people thought lending was going to slow down, but contraire, mon frere. So with personal student home loans up 63, 71, and 87% respectively. And this is with, mortgage rates still at record highs. So this business has to be doing something right. You have to. Why do people keep coming and giving their business to SoFi? Increasing numbers. And it's because it's very easy to use. It's consumer friendly. You get an extremely competitive deal. Extremely competitive interest rates. There's no fees. You can redo stuff. It's just very convenient to use, and people really like it. They rate it highly. I think that's why SoFi is taking market share. That's why I keep investing in this company. 2024 was a transformational year. I think he always says that. Part of it was diversifying the business, making it less capital intensive, reducing the risk, Noto told Barron's. Another part of it was making sure we drove meaningful profitability. I think stop trying to drive meaningful profitability and grow. Take market share. Be a grower, not a shower. To ensure we had adequate capital on our balance sheet, and we've done all of that. Yes, you have. Bravo. My SoFi hat is off to you. So anyways, this article over. No, it keeps going. In 2025, we will invest at higher rates than we have before. This is what the great Paul Gardner was saying. In 2025, we'll invest at higher rates than we have before because when we invest, it drives direct, strong returns. So you get return on your capital. The best is yet to come, said Noto. Was this a Broadway musical? William Blair, analysts led by Andrew Jeffrey, who rates SoFi at outperform, echoed that positivity. They advise investors to take advantage. Buy the dip, says Andrew Jeffrey. Our view is that SoFi is positioning to take a growing share of the large traditional bank market after demonstrating an ability to deliver consistent, organic. I'm a very old grandmother. I'm organic, and I eat a lot of granola. No, organic revenue and profit growth, they wrote. And if you'd like to email Emily DeTalio, you can see her information right there. And I told you, we can't give out no information. Did you not hear me? Where does he work? He works at SoFi. Where does he work? Are you planning to kill me with that pneumatic cattle prod? Because I'll have you know I have a 38 snub nose in my desk and my idiot husband is taking a massive dump in the bath. Probably has a shotgun on his person. He always takes it to the restroom in case a sewer rat pops out, tries to chew off his sphincter. Where does he work? Oh my God, I'm an idiot. I know, Paul. I keep telling people about you. I say the great Paul Gardner. Where the hell is he? Never even seen you before. I don't know who you are, but I can already tell. You're top ticket. You're the bee's knees. You're a blue ribbon winner in 4-H. You had a prize pig, probably named Mabel. After she won you that ribbon, you made her into bacon because you're a pragmatic, no-nonsense type of guy. That's Paul Gardner. Oh, anyway, who the fuck knows? Could be a complete psycho for all I know. Probably not. But he's in my audience, so probably. So whatever. Vincent Vandenberg. I'm broke from buying Sofi. Hey, good for you, man. That's a good kind of broke. A lot of paper gains there. You could transfer some of those into your hairline, Vincent. Might be a good move for you. This is a buying opportunity with visitors with spare pennies. I'm not a smoker, Danny. No, you didn't strike me as a crackhead, Vincent. You strike me as somebody like a very like a pensive uncle. Hey, Vincent, Uncle Vincent, I got some money. Should I invest? Like, I don't know what you should do. Stop asking me. I don't need that kind of pressure. Best thing for himself. Chartered travel, 2025, big spending year, profit year, $10 a share. Sofi rebounds, $10 is over. Yeah, it's going to rebound because, again, look at how big the volume is. And this is not what a sell-off looks like. This is not what a sell-off looks like. This is just pre-done by market makers in the pre-market. All through the day, it's held. And retarders who missed the boat are buying because they suck. They're dumb. I mean, I'm chubby and a little bit slow-witted, so hey, they call me the tugboat because I'm short, homely. I pull more than my own weight, and I rarely go far from home. Of course, they call me sugarcane because I'm more stocky than I am sweet. They call me cornbread because I'm moist, doughy, and I crumble under pressure. And, of course, they call me Crisco because I'm a little bit fat in the can. But I sincerely appreciate you useless turds joining me. It's Un Poco Mas, the show where we try to give you just a little bit more, but today we gave you absolutely nothing other than a swift kick in both testicles with a steel-toed boot because, hey, guys, I don't control the market. I was trying to warn you in my own, subtle, douchey way. Don't rush in at 18. People are saying this is going to rush up through 20 in a short squeeze to 75. Hey, sorry, guys, but the only short squeeze you've got going is playing a little bit of pocket pool, if you know what I'm saying. And I think you do. We got Adrenaline 681. How do you see? Listen. Okay, this is what I'm going to try to explain if I get a chance to do that. They have several quarters of results that are already backed up. Okay, they're making, not the growth, but they're already making over $2 a share. It's going to grow to like 260, 280, 3. I mean, that company is on a huge sale, but if the accounting issues are bad enough, we're screwed. Guys, I got to run. I have a meeting. Want to say I really appreciate you all. Thanks for watching. Stay the course. Sofi is not going anywhere, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks a lot, Not Alert, the great J Money. If Alberto Bertie Aviles was here, I don't think I saw him. The great Marco Guzar, Paul Clark, my old buddy Paul Clark. What's he got to say? Where'd Paul Clark go? Still in the green, $10 average, rinse repeat. Yeah, same, exactly, Paul. Paul's a smart guy. Could have predicted this one. Charted travel, 140K loss today. Mr. Noto sandbagging is majorly disappointing. No reason for it. That's what I say, charted travel. Treat us like adults. Give us a real forecast. If you miss it by a penny, it's not the end of the world. We're not going to crucify it. I'd much rather get real data that I can make real decisions based upon. So completely agree with you there, Charted Travel. Appreciate you guys. I thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you again really soon. It's Un Poco Mas. It's the SoFi. It's me getting kicked square in both nuts for fun and profit.